Okay, so I just stopped right here. Welcome. I know I've been away from a long time, but again, I was thinking with this. OBS was fried and stuff, and the first one didn't even do so. I'm not entirely sure if I'm not entirely sure if this was even that good right now because of the fact that everything was not good right now. Again, it took some time. There was buffering here, buffering there. OBS was its own thing. It wasn't reading. It wasn't even picking up the mic. So again, if you excuse me while I double check before starting this again, because again, once you watch it, that's it. And I've been holding off on watching this one until I can probably properly watch it. So I'm hoping this tonight. It's pretty late night. All right, so everything seems to be working fine, and now let's just start again. I'm probably gonna have to just stop it, pause it at times, just to double check because again, that everything has been pretty janky lately. But again, I forgot how fun it is to actually tinker with OBS and stuff, and you might and again it's I have the lights on. It's pretty warm out. Pretty much in summer already. But I'm not turning the AC on because I personally think it's worth it to just sweat it out. Because you already have the laptop fan noise, and but AC, it's gonna make it even more jank. Again, I really do like I put a lot of effort to try and make the audio pretty darn good for what it is. Again, it's not gonna be as perfect again. I know there might still be some lag between the camera and stuff, but the audio should at least be pretty darn good. Right, so I know the microphone, everything's good, so if it goes janky again, I know it's gonna be a software issue. And I hope this all ends up paying off in the long run. It is pretty fun to do this, and again, I still haven't watched this, so I've been wanting to watch this so bad. I've watched Fantastic Beasts, both of them. They're all right. But what is it called? Colin Firth, right? He's playing Penguin, and right, we got Arnold. Jeffrey Wright, like he plays Arnold, and Bernard on Westworld. He's in his too. All right, and then we got Robert Pattinson here, who I've liked his work. I think the last one I saw him was in The Lighthouse, and again, I really like his stuff. He's a pretty good actor, and now he's Batman. So considering what most people know him from, personally I saw him in Harry Potter 4, that's where I knew him from, and then of course the vampire thing, and then followed his career, saw Water for Elephants, Cosmopolis, and then The Lighthouse lately. I think Good Time was one of the ones. Again, I tried to see it, but again, it just didn't capture my attention. So again, I'm pretty excited to see what he's doing here. And it's playing Alfred. Was it Andy Serkis? I think so, right? Or okay, I'll just go in. All right, Zoe Kravitz plays Catwoman. Right, I think I like her better in this than I liked her in pretty much any other role. Again, everyone already knew who she was, but again, I didn't know. But I definitely had seen her in First Class, First Class, and that's pretty much it. Right, and then Fantastic Beasts when I finally got around to seeing that one, which was after this movie was released, and it was this actress. Again, she looks very different in here as Catwoman than in some of the other films. All right, let's just begin this and see what it's about. I'm pretty sure people are ranking this possibly the putting this as the number one. So I'm pretty excited to see how this is gonna go. I don't know who this guy is.
The renewal program is broken.
Yeah.
The city streets are crowded.
It's looking very much like the Arkham games.
Even with the rain.
Nice bright lights.
Hidden in
Very
the
nice.
chaos.
It captures the essence of Gotham very well.
Waiting to strike like snakes. But I'm there too. Watching.
Is this Robert Pattinson?
Nights have turned me into a a nocturnal animal.
Is it 50,000 volts? Seeing more. Batman Animated Series Season 4 or New Batman Avengers type of thing with more gentlemen. Like, it's like the meme now. This was like the meme. This is like like that other meme where okay, there's someone behind her, but then there's also someone behind him. So then who's behind the guy that's following Robert Pattinson right now? I mean he trusted it pretty easily. I mean, again, like he just me. Even in other movies. Well, oh my god. Why do people go to these things? Why do they still live here?
Combination lock. Can we just cut it off? Not if
First lockpicking lore. I mean, if he makes it out alive, he's probably still going to jail, right? Also, those things were called whistle to right that noise. Rear wheel drive, probably right. Oh, the soundtrack's pretty good there. Pretty darn good soundtrack. Huh, that was tough, I think. Jackknifing. Yep, just I'm getting more Return of the Joker flashback scenes. Why? Did he have to be shirtless for? Oh, right, that's fan service for the ladies.
You thought your father was a Boy Scout. But you'd be surprised what even a good man like him is capable of in the right situation. Do me a favor. Don't lose any sleep over it. This reporter was a lowlife.
You say Salvatore Maroni got my father killed?
Do I know it for a fact? I'm just saying it sure looked that way to me. This is what you wanted, huh? This little conversation here. Hey, look who it is, huh?
Sorry to bother you.
Nah, it's fine, beautiful.
I was just hoping I could talk to you for a minute.
Absolutely.
Alone?
Right, he's just using an angle grinder.
Hey, Dad.
What?
I'm Maria Kyle's kid. You remember her?
Yeah. Just put down the gun, honey.
This is for my mother.
My own flesh and blood, huh? do this? Just like your mother.
He has to pay!
Supposed to go.
Oh yeah, she looks a bit more like, in that shot, he looks pretty similar to the Arkham Knight beginning, you know, when you see Batman. Just that part.
Watch what?
So, yeah.
Detonators. I just want to say this will be my last post for a little while. And, what this community has meant to me, these...
You know, you could have just cut it beneath you.
The National Guard is coming.
Oh my god.
Martial laws.
Okay. Right now, kind of liked it. I think that any show there much I could be used good, but then I don't know. Did they change it? Because I think people were saying after credits was the one with the Joker. I thought that's what people were saying. It feels like it could have ended earlier, honestly. Yeah. Did they really have to go where they just trash Gotham? I don't think they had to go that far. Of course, I understand that he did want to make it seem like, no, he's a young Batman, you know, probably like around, he's probably maybe getting his first year, and then he's gonna screw up and he's gonna miss details or that stuff. But maybe just that wasn't the way to do it, you know. Obviously, he's not gonna get time there for that one, but like they really destroyed this. I don't think they needed to wreck Gotham and just to come. You know, they probably could have come up with something else that maybe this also the murder of someone else, stuff. You know, that way those guys, you know, that were apparently helping out the Riddler could have, you know, it could have been maybe like major players as opposed to just wrecking the city and now, oh, their guard, the National Guard has to come in. Oh my god, it really, that's where I thought it went a little bit too just jammy stuff into the movie, because again, that did cause it to, like, they really condensed that part. Like that within itself probably could have been maybe another quarter or fifth of a movie, but then again, considering it was approaching the light, did they really have to do that there? But overall, I still relatively enjoyed it. I thought it was probably not as good. I think I definitely enjoyed The Long Halloween more than this one, but I did like Robert Pattinson's portrayal. But it's just, the movie just feels sort of a bit jank a bit, or maybe it's because I also waited at times. But again, it just didn't flow as smoothly. I'm glad they focused on the detective aspects a lot, but then that also means the other aspects suffered more, and sometimes maybe it waned a bit too much on the detective part and stuff. Right, obviously, The Long Halloween's been revisited a bit time here. Well, I like Robert Pattinson's portrayal. I think more than Christian Bale's Batman from Batman Begins. This might be neck and neck with Batman Begins, but for this, different parts of his origin, because again, Batman Begins is more like an origin, but here's like, all right, he has some time under his belt, and you know, Batman Begins, you know, Falcone, everyone knows. Here, he has to figure out he's behind it all. So, yeah, maybe it took him a little bit too long to get there, but it was interesting that no, you know, Falcone isn't like as cartoony as a villain as, the Falcone in Batman Begins. He's a lot more like, oh, they know he's a criminal and stuff, but he's not like, that's the only thing, like where he's looking to commit crimes. No, he actually does try to sway Bruce Wayne's opinion there. And again, there's some parts that are good, and maybe that probably could have worked better if execution was a little bit better. But again, maybe if they had like a workout scene, because that's something that's everywhere, where again, obviously it's a decent job portraying some of that, but and for the fan service, of course. Again, Batman Superman had that workout scene because again, it's not exactly easy to keep that up. Keeping in physical peak, and still, technically he's ignoring his name responsibilities or running company stuff. So kind of unlike the it's kind of the opposite of that Begins part where he comes back and he does both. Here he sort of just focusing on this one. That's kind of the problem I have with Batman Year One and some stuff. While it's good stuff that he's not getting everything down yet, and I look forward to seeing some stuff in the future. His Batman's pretty darn good. He doesn't have Batmobile yet. I just think it maybe could have flowed a little bit smoother. But there definitely were some parts, where he's taking that out, but and the feel of Gotham in some of those shots just captures like in Arkham Knight shot perfectly, or like when he's talking to Riddler and you see his like the top part, like from like the nose up, that part looks pretty darn spot on to like how Batman used to look like in the Arkham Knight game. So again, some parts were so like that in terms of just visual, but again, the story and stuff, probably could have flowed a little bit easier because again, he just sort of accepts Catwoman in this awfully quick. Again, the romance big, didn't focus on that much, but again, I don't know. I mean, maybe they just didn't have much chemistry to my stuff, but they're still acting it pretty well. I mean, I enjoyed it. I found it to be better, but in terms of, it's a good part that they're focusing on that. But if you were unfamiliar with that, if you hadn't played the games, this probably would be decent. But as someone that's played the Arkham series, I think everything except Arkham Asylum, because there was kind of no point. I mean, I already played, right. So I had played Origins, Night, and then I think I played Arkham City last, the second one, the original Rocksteady, and then of course the one that Montreal did with Origins, Again, the detective aspect I already knew, and certain parts do gloss over it, but here maybe it wanes a little bit too much on it. That's the thing, and maybe somehow just hope, if Batman gets it, we're supposed to accept that already, and that's fine, I guess, but certain parts are just so, like, cartoony Gotham and stuff, and while it wasn't as thrilling when he made the escape from the police, as Batman Begins, or maybe even a Mask of the Phantasm, which that was freaking thrilling, and then Batman Begins did it, okay, it got close, and maybe not necessarily that much, but you did feel there because of, no, it's not perfect, he's, it's sort of like, he hasn't done that yet, and because it does, you do feel the danger of him when he leaps from that, and cause if he screws up, you could just one up splat on the bridge, with all that velocity, pretty much get, just tomato paste on the side. If you're not careful with that part, this was in the Batman Begins one where it's a lot more slow. Here he does he does build up acceleration at that point, going pretty darn fast. Whereas in Batman Begins, the gliding is known as, it's not that fast, it's, I think the fastest is probably the slowest here, because here he did jump up from pretty high, but again, they gloss over some of this stuff, again, it's an overall movie. I still think that Batman Begins, I think, might be better as an overall movie. It just falls a bit better. It just flows a little bit better. More storytelling stuff there. But here, the aspect of Falcone being a little bit more, they know he is, but again, he doesn't really appear to that much time. But it's bloodthirsty Falcone Batman Begins, but it doesn't. They probably could have done more with that. Showing him like no, that's not. Criminals aren't just fine. No, they actually do know how to get one over on, because he kind of was getting one over on Bruce. If he wasn't Batman, sure, maybe some of the cops acting or the accent being so thick sometimes. Maybe that part did, and maybe the Riddler maybe just not being as enigmatic, or them just the problem. Sometimes diving in too much in the detective parts could be like, well, yeah, you get it, but yeah, but that's just me. If other people probably might not get it. Again, it's probably whereas in Batman Begins for me is a movie, it's something you could just turn on. Here, it's like you have to follow along that stuff. Whereas in it just Batman Begins, it just flows a little bit more seamlessly. Because there's not as much happening. Here he is Falcone, he has the Riddler, and then of course you're trying, and then he has to use the Selena Kyle stuff building up. Well, he's also trying to, again, the Long Halloween focused on the Falcone stuff, and someone's taking them out and stuff. They try to get the Riddler to do that stuff, but maybe not. Well, they're also trying to solve that case. Again, it builds up a lot more the case, so you're realizing who's Maroni in this. You get Falcone because they kind of do search that part, but then when you see how things go here, you're like, why do people still live here, and why is there anyone attending this funeral? Seems like, again, in the Dark Knight, when they had the funeral, it was kind of a bit more, it made sense, because they are going to be out in the open here to go in, and well, you get a car driving. Well, again, it's stuff that really, like, whoa, you get your attention, and then it goes too slow again. All right, maybe I'll just let this sit in the back of my mind while it is. But those are my thoughts. I guess at the end of this, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I just thought maybe they could have, and then the stuff was pretty cool for Robert Pattinson being there. But again, they probably could have done more of that. They just sometimes linger too much on the detective part. Just like where they sometimes have to make, like, he has to make that, like, he has to get it, even though technically it doesn't show. I mean, like, glad they showed him, like, using the angle grind to cross electricity and stuff. It's stuff. It demystifies it a little bit too much. No, Batman should have at least some things that we don't know how he did. We see him disappear, towards the end, with the detective, not to do with that cop, but maybe that part, not that much, again, that part was fine, but, it probably could have had a bit more, and contact lenses are a little bit too spy-ish movie, I think, for me. Again, Batman, Batman does go undercover. We didn't get to see, like, his alter ego. That probably would have made a bit more sense. When he disguises himself, like he does in one of those episodes in the animated series. He gets his hair white. Wants someone to be like I think is that the Underdwellers part? Or maybe it could be where he actually has amnesia, which actually ends up going nowhere. But that's a very detective-y thing. Or another one where he tries to go to, like, Two-Face's thing as that, and no one recognizes him. And Santa Rama shows up because they're about to, like, oof him, but again, it's stuff like that really makes Batman, be a bit more like, where you might feel some of the danger stuff. Like, no, he could literally, he doesn't have his equipment. I suppose him just, barging in there, which he still did, like in the Dark Knight, where he goes in there, but you don't linger on him. You just see him, like, make his way to the Maroni in the Dark Knight, and then intimidate him and stuff, like, at the top, stuff like that. Again, it doesn't linger. It's just like, no, that's what he did. We don't need him interacting with the guards and stuff like that. You know, he probably would have sneaked in or something like that. You know, supposed to just knocking on the door and saying, you know, Batman, and then just. I get that he's aggressive, but if he was really aggressive, being logically consistent with that, he probably wouldn't have smack talked the guards. But anyway, I don't know. It feels like maybe I'm being too harsh in this movie because maybe I did wait maybe too long to build it up and stuff. Maybe just focusing more on the negatives. But again, it is pretty late at night, so all right. Before I probably get just no, I enjoyed the movie. Just maybe not as much as I thought I would. But maybe that's my own problem because I waited too long to see this. And some people are claiming this is probably like the definitive, stuff. No, I still think Begins does it a lot better and blends in the Long Halloween just enough. And if I think the Long Halloween just does it enough too. But this one's just there's so much stuff happening, and then with all that stuff happening, then you slow down for him to have this long shot of him just helping people, and that just drags a bit too much even towards the end. And they cram it like, no, we're getting the like it turns into like a whole crisis. You didn't have to. That probably could have been its own thing a lot earlier if you didn't have so much stuff going on. It does feel cluttered. Maybe like towards the end, like maybe even 3/4 at the end, it starts feeling a little bit cluttered. Like it's feeling a little bit cluttered already, but now it's when it really starts to just. Anyway, all right, just end it here. All right, I'll see if I keep filming something else. All right.